Hi, it's KatieStories and I'm back with story number 35. I'm going to finish talking to you about this awesome book, The Emotional Edge. So I started talking about this book last week. I love this book so much because there's so many things I've read between Eckhart Tolle and Oprah and Martha Beck and on it goes. But honestly, I have never found anyone that put it together like Crystal did in her book, The Emotional Edge. She's taken like so many truths and her experiences and what we already know, but put it all together in a really relatable way. Like she's such a beautiful person and she shares a lot of herself. Maybe I relate because I relate to a lot of what she's gone through and we're quite similar. Maybe though like we've talked about it, and I think she on an abuse level I had just so much more to deal with than I did. But my thing, I think, was sort of neglect when I was growing up. And, you know, it's interesting, before I talk more about the book, I did a poverty study through the schools. We all did this course on Pro D Day about 10 years ago. And it's really interesting what that does to the brain, poverty, and the effects of it, witnessing violence, neglect. There's something that happens where the brain becomes kind of flooded and overwhelmed with extra information. I've talked about this before. I remember that because I was saying, take it easy on the kids, right? Like when, you know, sometimes when kids just can't hone in on something, you know, they may have been through something and their brains can get flooded easily. So anyway, I'm back to this book. If, you know, you're tired of feeling tired, if you feel exhausted from trying to control everything all the time, because you can't. Right? Crystal's going to teach you in this book about flowing, just how to get in the flow. And it doesn't mean like being easygoing and putting up with stuff. Not at all. No way. Because you set boundaries. It's about being who you are, respecting other people for who they are, and really doing what you want to do. Like not for the approval or validation of other people. So I want to read you something, okay? And this is for you too, guys. Right? We all got to be healthy. And I'm sure seeing that more and more, you know, there's, especially with COVID, they say the divorce rate's going to go up. And I'm so happy in a few weeks, you know, to share a bit of my story and things that I would love you to know that maybe would help you save your relationship. Because it's a lot of work. And it's interesting too, you know, there's a saying called stay with the devil, you know. So I want to read you something. I'm just kind of random here, jumping all over. Because if I could, I would just read you this whole book from start to finish. That's how much I want you to get this book, The Emotional Edge. Anyway, for now, I'm going to read you just a little passage. Worried about the ways you've acted in the past or the ways you've been taught never to be. The energy it takes to convince the world of who you want them to see you as eventually robs you of your power. It's inauthentic and exhausting. Managing yourself and all that fear becomes a full-time job. Not to mention, as we've previously discussed, what you fear, you draw near. Right? Even all this talk about COVID, I'm so sick of it. Like, it's just going to keep expanding. Let's talk about other things. And yeah, get excited about life again. In your own denial, you'll inevitably begin to attract and project your own unfinished business and buried fears into all of your relationships, unaware that everything that shows up in our lives is a mere reflection of us. True, it's true. Yes, our relationships do nothing more than reveal us to ourselves. So again, it's not about them. It's about you, your feelings, your filter. It's not personal, the things that people do, because it's coming through their filter. Suffering arrives because it's time for us to look within, to see where our own fear is drawing this experience into our lives so that we may see it, honor it, and heal it. Our abundance, sexuality, relationships, friendships, career, energy, health, income, vitality, joy, or lack thereof is the real barometer of how in alignment we are with ourself, regardless of what our mind wants us to believe. If any of these areas in your life are in disarray, rather than pointing the finger outward, why not look within to see where you have been opposing inner views or beliefs that are creating conflict for you? And, you know, throughout this book, she's going to talk to you about shame. She's also going to talk to you about intention. And it's funny because when I was 4 years old, I was playing in my backyard with this neighbor friend, Alan McKee. So if you're watching this, hi, Alan. And we didn't have a lot of trees. We just, had a really small backyard, kind of a rectangle with shrubs and flowers. But we had one small tree. And I remember seeing this bird sitting on the branch. And I said to myself, I'm going to touch that bird. I'm going to touch a bird today. I didn't even understand in my 4-year-old brain that I was setting an intention. And I actually sneaked up and got really close and saw his little feather went, and I did. I touched him. That was really powerful. When I look back at that moment, realizing that even at 4 years old, when I intended to do something, that I did it. And I often will see, especially if I'm feeling scattered or distracted, for doing these stories, I will often see a little robin. Now, coincidence? Sure, birds pop all around. But I'm gonna just maybe take that as a synchronicity, like, oh, maybe that's just a little reminder to focus, right? What's my intention today? And someone I know that's going through a marital breakup, and they're in a lot of distress and pain. I've been speaking to them, and I noticed after we've been talking and I'm really telling them, like, put the focus on you right now. You need to heal. It's not about bombarding the other person with texts and chasing them and begging them. You can't do that. Let them go. Work on you. And I noticed that this person the next day was, posting their dirty laundry on Facebook, and I'm just shaking my head, right? So that person, when they reached out to me the next day, I kind of just sent a screenshot and said, so what was the intent of this Facebook post? Like, what are you looking for? Is this to shame that person? Are you looking for sympathy? And I just said, I just want you to think about it. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but think about what you're putting out there and why. What do you want from that Facebook post? Because that's not how you're going to get her back. You're just pissing her off and you're creating a bunch of drama. And, so it's just interesting that if you want to feel better, and you want to feel joy and let go and not have the need to control and go with the flow and manifest and do all these great things, you got to do the work. And it's going to take time, and it's going to take you moving past the belief that it's selfish. No, it's not. Like, come on, wake up. Self-care is everything. The mask, if you don't have that mask on, if you're not taking care of you, if you're not loving you, you're not making time for you, compassion, you're not just checking in every moment to see how you feel. That's how you start. You just train, you just learn and keep checking in. And it just helps you have so much more compassion for others. So I want to read you a little bit more, okay? We were talking about those archetypes last week. You're dominant. And it was really neat because I've been reading on, and I'd have you here for an hour if I got into everything exciting. So I'm just going to mention that Crystal mentions in this book, Emotional Edge, about that not only when you have a dominant archetype, that you have a really passive one. I'm just looking at my notes, submissive. And that's the most embarrassing of all the archetypes. It's the one that you'll work the hardest to hide. And then she talks about duality, that, yin and yang, you can't have one without the other, and how we will overcompensate with something else when we're denying another part of us to be loved and come out. And, okay, so I read you that. And I want to read, she's talking about what to do, with some of these archetypes. So if you find that you're in the parent archetype, you're not having a lot of fun, you're just trying to control everything and be the ruler and the tyrant, there's a couple little things here for you. No more coddling, excusing, justifying, parenting, fixing, saving your partner. He or she is not your child. Don't respond the minute they text or call you. Don't be too available. Tell yourself something fabulous about yourself every day. And go in the inward, right? I'm kind, I'm funny, I'm intuitive, I'm compassionate, I'm wise, I'm honest. It's all kinds of things, right? Other than our shell. Stop using your shrill mother voice. This might mean taking your voice down a few octaves. Oh, it's so true how we really got to watch our tone. It's a big trigger point for all of us. And I get triggered really easily by tone and offended, right? But I can do it too. I can have that shrill mother voice. Wear something soft and pretty to bed. Take a hot salt bath and light some candles. Put some cream on your skin nightly. You get the point. Take care of yourself. Put the focus on you. Get your teeth whitened, go for bikini wax, sign yourself up for dance classes, dress more femininely. I did that today. I love this top. Have more fun, have more sex, trust in the bigger picture, and giggle. And I'm really happy to say I do pretty much all of these things. And I still always open to whatever makes you feel better. And, you know, she's going to have you just explore a lot of your old beliefs. And now transcending the child. So listen to this. If you think that you're someone that would fall in the child archetype, so rebellious, addictions, running away, depending on people to make you happy. For those of you who struggle in the child archetype, it's important that you grow up. Yes. And it's funny because I used to say like I was emotionally 18 and I think I've reached like 23 now. That's pretty good. Yes, you always want to keep your youthful energy and maintain the part of you that's fun and playful. But unless you start acting like an empowered adult, if you do meet someone who's perfect for you, eventually one of 4 things will occur. Well, that adult's going to move on because you're too toxic for them. They're going to start acting like the child. If you can't beat them, join them, right? Or they're going to turn into the parent and start like protecting you, and they're going to become exhausted, and then you're going to feel controlled and oppressed like a child. Or you will grow up and start acting like an adult, and the relationship will blossom. And that's what happens, right? You just be on your own 2 feet, grow into yourself, love yourself, attract someone that respects themselves. You respect yourself. It's a pretty cool thing. Unless you take action to stop the drama, dysfunction, temper tantrums, mood swings, addictions, commitment issues, and or cheating, your relationships won't work. You are too intense, too extreme, too unhealthy. If you've been navigating your relationship or hoping to get into a relationship as the child, Crystal's going to tell you that no matter who you end up with, unless you start thinking we instead of me, no relationship will ever fulfill you for the long term. You won't find your bliss. Manipulation, passive-aggressive ploys will never empower you or bring you a soulmate or love affair. Set fair and healthy boundaries. Keep your sense of self. Don't let your partner be the only thing in your world. Don't become a diva either. Remember, loving your partner is giving him what he needs as much as expecting him to meet your needs. Our relationships thrive and we walk that fine line. Oh, it's so true. A balancing act of selflessness and selfishness. So breaking away from the child archetype, no more ultimatums, no more baby talk, no more competing or comparing, no more self-punishment or whining or weighing yourself, adding drama to your stories, lashing out and misdirecting your frustrations. Be with them. Just have a little quiet. Sometimes, you know, I used to right away want to reach out to a friend, you know, for help or their opinion. I've pulled away from doing that. 1, we bombard people. They don't need that. 2, we got it all inside here. Just give yourself a little time and it will come up. No more talking negatively about yourself. Don't send angry text messages, especially after 10 o'clock. No more dwelling in the past or cutting up other people or spending money you don't have. No more using your sexuality to get your way. Look within, the answers are there. And it's all true. And then I just want to end on a note here that Crystal, in the book that I'm in with her, one of the 30 women, at the back, she's got this great list of resources, okay? Alcoholics, you know, Al-Anon, Alcoholics Anonymous, Assaulted Women's Hotlines, Children and Teens Help Phone, Eating Disorder, Mental Health. But the one I want to tell you about, SWAT Institute. This is through Crystal. She did this herself. She organized this in 2009, the SWAT Institute, Simply Women Accredited Trainer. So she will give you 3 free sessions if you can't afford counseling. There's 3 sessions with an empowerment coach who's trained through the program, and they will use their new skills, practice their new skills by helping you. She also can offer you this course to take, and it's a 12-week empowerment course. It's amazing because it just goes through all the archetypes. Like this whole book is basically, this whole book here, she'll take you through and just explore all of it and get in the trenches. And if you love that and you want to go on to empowering and helping other people, she's got a course for that too. And she has an amazing Simply Women magazine and just some really happy, inspiring emails that you get every day. Her woe mantras, I love them. Sometimes you just get what you need at the time you need it, right? So I'm thinking now I gotta go because we're at 14 minutes. So thank you so much for listening. Honestly, it's a really great book, and I'm gonna talk to you about the Daily Om next week. Just some other great readings that I've done that have been a big help. Take care and talk to you soon.